Welcome to our video about Are Women Naturally Faithful to Their Chosen Mates? We are Raquel, Aida, and Anika. You may all have been in a situation where either you betrayed someone, you were betrayed, or one of your friends. You may have wondered why is it that so many couples cheat on each other? Is it part of human nature to have affairs, or are we born to be faithful? Well, we are here to resolve this question by looking at what it was like in the ancestral evolutionary condition. Before starting, we want to make clear what we mean by natural. This is the idea that the behavior was already present in our ancestors. And faithful, that is to stay with your chosen mate throughout life, and importantly, that you do not cheat. Initially, we thought that women are naturally faithful, and that it is unusual that women betray their husbands, and that it is more common in men. However, after reading the book The Evolution of Desire and several articles, we argue that women are naturally unfaithful, meaning they have always engaged in affairs. In our video, we will give the arguments for both positions, starting with the initial position, which is that women are naturally faithful, and this will be followed by the arguments uncovering that women have been unfaithful throughout history. Well, let's get to work. Why is the thought so common that women are faithful? First, we all have in mind that men are the ones who supply the family with resources, and women stay at home to care for their children and their home. Therefore, women were scared that if they lose their mate, they would be left without resources nor protection from their mate. There would have been a higher chance for the child to die. Second, women were not only scared of losing the supply of resources, but also of losing their mates. If her mate breaks up after catching her cheating, she may be less likely to find another mate, especially when having a child from her past relationship. Likewise, according to the sibling competition hypothesis, in case she would actually be successful in finding another mate, she may instead risk sibling competition between the old and the new child. Third, women were scared of conceiving sexually transmitted diseases when having more than one sexual partner. Also, at the same time, they were scared of the punishments they may receive from their mates when being unfaithful, so they rather avoided risking these consequences. Fourth, women tend to show a natural preference for exclusive long-term relationships. While men strive for affairs as they want to pass on as many genes as possible, females strive for the best possible genes and a partner to help raise her child to produce the strongest offspring. Fifth, women, when being unfaithful, would risk losing their status and good reputation in their tribe. Unfaithful women had a harder time finding another mate. Last, society accepted men being unfaithful more than unfaithful women. This is seen when looking at the consequences that women receive when being unfaithful. It goes so far as to being prosecuted. This may have been a lot of information to process so far, so let's recap before we continue. Our initial position stated that women are naturally faithful. This is because women are scared of losing their mate and the supply of resources if they have an extramarital affair. They are scared of being punished, conceiving diseases, and losing their status. Men are more unfaithful than women, as in the man's main goal is to pass on as many genes as possible, while women strive for emotional long-term bonds. So far, so good. We have seen why we may believe that women are faithful. However, we are missing out on quite a bit of information. The existence of the concern of infidelity means that both sexes must have engaged in short-term mating and casual sex. Thus, the genes for being unfaithful have been selected for and embedded in our biology. So now we will look at the topic again, but now showing that ancestral women also have been unfaithful. First, the most important reason for women to have affairs is to look for the better or even the best genes in the mating market for their offspring, like stated by the good genes hypothesis. Also, women use affairs to have a backup plan in case her mate dies during hunting or a fight. Second, according to the mate switching hypothesis, women, when in long-term relationships, are still interested in assessing the mating market. So why is this? This is because they use an affair to break up with their current mate, to have a trial run with another mate, or to assess one's own mating value. In case they find a better partner with better genes, they switch. Third, studies have shown that men engage more in extramarital sex as they strive for it to reach their goal, to spread as many genes as possible. Therefore, men show no high selectivity when looking for affairs and casual sex. Women take this as an advantage, as they may then be able to mate with a higher status man. Fourth, even the development of our biological system has revealed infidelity. Since men have larger testes relative to body weight than other monogamous primates, it shows that women and men had sex with more than one mate within a time span of a few days. Women having affairs appear to time their copulations to coincide with the point in their ovulatory cycle when they're most likely to be ovulating. So these developed mechanisms from both females and males show that it was adapted for them in a way to be unfaithful, and so it was embedded in our biology. Fifth, referring to the punishment and social acceptation argument, keep in mind that this position supposes that women were unfaithful. In fact, actual existence of strategies as clitoridectomy to remove sexual pleasure and infibulation showed that men were skeptical for their woman's faithfulness. Last, the fact that we developed the emotion jealousy supports the idea that both women and men were naturally unfaithful. Jealousy is an emotion that makes one intervene when sensing that your partner or someone else is interested in your partner. Evolution has selected for this emotion to reduce the incidence of infidelity. So, now we have also looked at the arguments that show that women are naturally unfaithful. To recap, the good genes hypothesis is to ensure to get the best genes for your offspring. The mate switching hypothesis is to change mates for better genes. Women take men's low selectivity in affairs as an advantage to gain better genes. Women's biological system shows evidence of short-term strategies. The fact that women were more harshly punished than men means that women were unfaithful. The evolution of jealousy suggests that both sexes must have been unfaithful. Now, after hearing all of these arguments, it makes sense why infidelity in women and also men may be relatively high nowadays. We are not made to stay with one mate throughout life without assessing the mating market. Indeed, the ones who stayed with one mate were the ones that may have not received the best genes and therefore were less likely to survive. Of course, women did risk a lot when having an affair and also strive for emotional long-term bonds, but they could also gain a lot when finding a better mate, so better genes, and may have needed it as a backup plan. Evolution has selected for the trait infidelity. So, now we ask you, do you think women are naturally faithful?